Kempire is brought to you by the Kempire After Dark live experience is kicking off 2025 with a bang. We're coming back to Washington, D.C. at Union Stage for another amazing show. If you enjoy hot topics, reality TV, and so much more, every single show is a different experience. If you haven't already, get your tickets now for our return to Washington, D.C. I know it's the inauguration week, but let us be the light at a very, well, maybe not so very, depending on who you ask, tunnel. All right. I'm excited to bring this live show experience back to the DMV area. More information on tickets will be available in the description. And New York City, you're up right after that. For Black History Month, we're bringing back the Kempire After Dark live experience to Green Room 42. And this is going to be a very special show as well. But don't forget, you will have access to a live stream option exclusively for this Kempire After Dark live experience here in New York City. We'll be posting links to all of the shows, and information will be available in the episode notes. And I look forward to meeting all of you in person. See you soon. You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, as you know, I've been enjoying the season so far, but I've been telling you things that I'm not falling for and things that I think are real. But after watching this week's episode, although I didn't love it, I didn't love it. Just because I do feel like some of the people are playing in our faces. And I also don't love the fact that Garcelle is chiming in. I'm still trying to remember what happened at the end of last season in regards to Garcelle and Dorit's relationship. I get it. They don't like each other, but I do feel that Garcelle is probably doing a little too much. And I wanted to wait and watch the entire episode or watch that scene with Sutton and Garcelle where the burglary comes up just to see the context on how it came up. And again, we're watching an edited show, so there could have been more context that we're missing, maybe. But I do feel like us bringing up the burglary again, I'm just like, okay, this is already a sticky, sensitive topic for a lot of people involved, including Dorit. However, I'm not going to sit here and act as if a lot of you, when we were recapping, talking about that burglary, have said all of what Garcelle has said. Social media has said everything that Garcelle is saying. I think it's very brave of Garcelle to speak her mind and tell her, what she's really thinking. A lot of people wouldn't do that, but I just feel like, Garcelle, there's so much more. We're in your beautiful Malibu home that you just built over the last 3 years so that we didn't even get to see, which I'm disappointed about. But why are we even talking about Dorit? It's Sutton's fault. Notice every time Garcelle is talking about Dorit, Sutton is the one initiating this conversation. Just saying. Anyways, guys, as always, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Let me know where you're watching from and let me know how you would rate this week's episode of Beverly Hills. Let's get into this recap as always. And don't forget, again, to like the video because it's important, of course. Guys, welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel because it is a subscribers only live chat. And as a reminder, the Kempire After Dark live experience is returning to Washington, D.C. on Friday, January 24th. And then we're coming back to New York City on Friday, February 21st for Black History Month. Get your tickets today in the description, including a live stream option for the New York City show. And for everything else Kempire, including our merch store, our Cameo, all of that will be available in the description. All right, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Let's just talk about it. Let me take this off. This is going to bother me, and I don't want to be distracted. Okay? Anyways, so Beverly Hills. If I had to rate this week's episode, maybe I need in 2025 to take a break from talking about reality television because I think the more that I watch it, or maybe just reality television is turning into a lot of just pre-production, people not sharing their real stories or trying to distract from the real stories. This is why I think people can appreciate things that we see on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City that are real or when we have real moments. I don't know if I just don't care about these housewives arguing about what? About how much you can't stand a person that you really don't even see throughout the year? But then we have that scene with Garcelle and Sutton that I believe is real. I know some people believe it's an alliance and it's not a real friendship. Some things you just can't make up when you watch it on television. We see the fakery of it all. Like Karen Huger and Karen Huger and Giselle's relationship. Even this season, yes, there are funny moments with them. However, you could tell we're going to do a little, funny moment on television. Do I think these women are hanging out outside of Real Housewives of Potomac? No, not at all. That is an alliance because people, production and the network are like, oh, people love when you guys are so super shady to each other. Do they like each other? Do they, if they really needed each other, would they be there for each other? Yes. But are they talking all the time, hanging out, or even hanging out casually every once in a while? No. But I do believe that for Garcelle and Sutton, which I enjoyed seeing that scene with them. I'll get to that. Let me focus. So Kyle and Sutton go over to Jennifer Tilly's house. Jennifer Tilly, if you guys watched the after show, I didn't watch the after show for this particular episode, but that trifecta of Sutton, Jennifer Tilly, and Garcelle are the best part of the after show because you get real, you get funny. Jennifer Tilly, even though she's friends with Sutton, she has no problem seeing that, I think Sutton's volatile too. Do I think that Erica is taking a dig at her? Yes, but I do think that Sutton is volatile. And I think we all can agree Sutton is volatile. But we'll get to that. So we go over Jennifer Tilly's playhouse. So she literally has another house. She has like 4 properties. One in Malibu. I wonder how first of all, I wonder how Garcelle's property, because, Malibu had those fires. Because she just built that. That's got to be scary over there in Malibu. So hopefully everything is okay with the, houses that they have over there. But Jennifer Tilly, just stunts on us. And we talked about this last week because I had saw the clip of this. I didn't realize it was from this week's episode as opposed to last week's episode where she talked about her multiple properties. And this particular property where she had Kyle and Sutton is where she just hosts. This is her playhouse. And I love how she just slightly stunts on us. Paul Gaultier made the jacket for that damn doll. Really? Like she lives a fabulous life, but you could tell that she's not moved by it. Yeah, she'll bring it up, and I'm sure production is telling her, bring it up. Name all the things. Because even when she names it, and you guys can let me know if you feel like it's gauche or like, it's tacky that she's even bringing it up. But for me, it doesn't come across that way in regards to Jennifer Tilly bringing it up. I actually kind of like it. I'm like, oh, okay, because she also doesn't come across like it moves her. It's just like, yeah, that's my life. Look, yeah, that's my life. And I can see how, because even Sutton has a lot of, daubles and luxury items, but she doesn't seem moved by it. Unlike some of these other housewives on Beverly Hills, like Erica Jane, okay? Or even Dorit. Like, you could tell new money. And mind you, Sutton and Jennifer Tilly are technically new money. But they just handle it very differently, which I can appreciate because you know what that gives? That gives old school Beverly Hills. When we had Adrian, who came from money, being on the show, or Lisa Vanderpump. That's the energy. It's not this, but I appreciate Dorit and Erica because they also represent a sector of people that you find in Beverly Hills that are new money and they're trying to keep up with the Joneses and things like that. So Jennifer Tilly has, I don't know who that guy was. He wasn't her butler, but she wanted to pretend that was her butler. That wasn't her boyfriend, right? Her boyfriend's a poker player. They're both poker players. Good for them. Anyway, so Jennifer Tilly is so kooky and funny. She has Kyle come in and then Sutton comes over. Sutton, I don't know where Sutton was going. She looked like she rolled out of bed looking fabulous. But I expect Beverly Hills women to come out of their homes like they came out in a robe with some, high feathery high heels and things like that. That's what she was giving Sutton. So Jennifer Tilly tells us more about her properties. Kyle's talking about this, denim and whatever party that she's going to be hosting. And she's like, this is the first party that I'm hosting without Mauricio. Kyle, oh God. Kyle is so draining because, yes, this is her storyline. So everything is going to be associated with this new chapter of her life. And I get it. It is real for her. However, I am done talking about it because all these parties that she threw, I didn't think that Mauricio was there helping her plan it. No matter if production wants to throw in a clip where he fixed something. I believe, first of all, I don't believe that Kyle was planning these parties either. But I do believe that it was just her really planning it. And of course, he was there. It would make more sense to me. She was like, I'm throwing this party and it's the first time I'm throwing this party and Mauricio won't be there. It's just my party. She's making it seem like he helped her do these parties. He was such an important part of these parties. She's like, do I tell people to come to my house? Or, girl, it's not, like, I'm just drained by this is her storyline this season, but fine. Okay. So Kyle does say that she feels better in regards to the place she is with Dorit, but there still needs to be another conversation. Why? I'm tired. Like, I don't care about the fight between Dorit and Kyle, to be honest with you. And I don't care about the fight between Dorit and Sutton. Let's get into the fight between Garcelle and Dorit. That would be more interesting because clearly there is tension and an issue there. I don't think that Sutton and Dorit will ever see it for each other. And I do agree that Sutton is volatile. That's the Virgo in her. But that's what we've gotten from Sutton over the years. That is without a fact. This is what we talk about twerking on the fence. Because some of you were like, what team are you on? I'm not on anyone's team. I don't know these people, and neither do you. Okay? But I can see where Sutton, like, I would be a little scared to, tick Sutton off. Like, you say the wrong thing, all of a sudden, Sutton's in tears and she's a mess. And Garcelle has admitted to that too about Sutton. So that's a fact, okay? If we want to talk about facts, okay? So Kyle says that she feels better in regards to her relationship with Dorit, but they still need to have a conversation. Sutton says that she doesn't think that Dorit gets why she was upset in the Sprinter. It had nothing to do with Teddy, the gnat. It had to do with this group being open and honest. And she talks about what Erica was whispering. Here's the thing. Now that I think about it, I'm just like, okay, Sutton, we get it. You want the group to be open and honest, but that's not going to happen overnight. And I don't think what Erica said across the table to Kyle was that it needed to be said in front of the group. Because clearly, Erica got it wrong too. That's not what Dorit said. So it was better that she whispered to Kyle versus saying it at the table and be loud and wrong, like some folks. Garcelle. Anyways, in another scene, we have Erica and Dorit. And here's my thing with Dorit. And look, now a lot of the blogs and a lot of people are speaking out saying that this whole Dorit and PK thing, the media, the rags are saying that the PK and Dorit stuff is just a storyline. It's not real. And Dorit, it's looking more and more like that. When Dorit said she hadn't talked to PK in 2 weeks, I said, see, this is what I'm talking about. And then they flash back when he said, she was like, we talk 5 times a day. And that's not going to happen anymore. Here's the thing. They have 2 young kids together. You're not going to sit here and tell me that Dorit and PK did not communicate for 2 weeks and they have 2 young children together. Come on now. Let's be real. And this is where she loses me. Okay, so there's always like a hole in the story. And for those that are wondering if I'm going to mention about PK and what he said about Garcelle, we will get there because I did talk about it in another video. I think last week's video, I talked about it. But it bears mentioning again, unfortunately. Okay, so she says she hasn't talked to PK, single PK, in 2 weeks. You have 2 kids with this man, young kids. And honestly, look, I do like seeing Dorit and her kids together. Her kids have really sweet, cute personalities. And honestly, I probably would prefer seeing more of them with her versus these other scenes that we're getting. Okay? But maybe she doesn't want to really have them too much on reality television. I don't blame her. All right? She also talks about she likes where she is with Kyle right now and that she feels like their conversation got somewhere. Okay. All right. And then they talk about Bose. Bose, we're going to mess up your name a lot. That's why I want to keep calling her Bozema, because I'm more inclined to say her name correctly if I say her full name as opposed to Bozema. Okay? Actually, it has a better ring to it anyways. So Erica and Dorit talk about, yeah, we really like both of them. And she's like, she went off to LAX after coming from Oceanside with her daughter on their trip. Fine. Dorit then talks about how she feels that Sutton is hypocritical in regards to how she handles things within the group. And look, I'm not going to say that Dorit's wrong because although I don't think that Sutton was yelling at her on the Sprinter, even though Sutton takes ownership and says, the reason why I was yelling because you weren't listening. I still don't think that Sutton was yelling in the Sprinter. But I also think that Sutton can be hypocritical in regards to how she deals with some of the people in this group. And I also think that Sutton can be very sensitive. And Erica's like, that is her main gripe with Sutton. I just find it interesting. I just never know where Erica is with Sutton. Because one minute I think they're good. And then another minute, I'm like, oh, so you guys aren't good? Because like there still seems to be like this weird, not even a frenemy situation. Like one minute it feels like they're good. And maybe Erica feels that way with Sutton as well. Like she thinks that they're good. And then, Sutton says something in an interview and then they're not good. The same with Erica. So I don't know where they stand, but I don't think that they hate each other, which is good. It makes great for reality television that it's not so deep that they can't work together and they can't film and have a good time with each other. All right. Here, speaking of a real situation, this was my favorite scene of the episode. I don't know about anyone else. I'm not one of those people that watch reality television for constant drama all the time. I can appreciate funny, fun moments. Okay? And Garcelle and Sutton actually moving furniture and boxes to her Malibu home. Sutton actually getting a U-Haul. We see a flashback of Garcelle calling Sutton, I need you to get me a U-Haul. And she actually gets her the U-Haul. I love Avi. Avi is so much fun to watch. I'm sorry, Josh. We miss you as well. However, Avi is just so funny. He's so funny. So I like seeing them together. And Sutton tells Avi, we're going to help Garcelle move. and it's like, what? So Garcelle's Malibu Beach home was 3 years in the making. We didn't get them building it, but it basically, she tore it down and she built this beautiful Malibu home. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous. It's not my taste, like the way she styled it. You can see it on Bravo's YouTube channel, like the full tour. It's not my style, but it's beachy. I'm not a beachy decor person, so it makes sense. She's in Malibu. It makes complete sense that she's gonna deck it out the way she did. Either way, the way that she was able to do it, and over the 3 years, like she feels so accomplished from doing it. I was just watching these two. First of all, the fact that Sutton I was impressed with Sutton driving that truck. Anyone else? I was like, okay, Sutton, the way she was moving, I was like, all right, okay. Anyways, so Sutton arrives. Garcelle is just so tickled by Sutton. They actually load up the U-Haul. I thought they were just being facetious. No, they were loading things into the U-Haul, okay? Then they take the drive to Malibu. And as someone that took the drive from LA to Malibu, that is a good drive, okay? That is a good drive. So I understood when Sutton says, you're going to need a helicopter. Garcelle's like, are you going to buy me a helicopter as a housewarming gift? For a second there, Sutton looked like she contemplated it. Just like, probably in her mind doing the math. All she needs is 1 month, right? I don't know how much does a helicopter cost? Please hold. Hey, Siri, look. Let me see. How much is that? Oh, I have to type it. You know they have the new update with Siri along with ChatGPT. How much does a helicopter cost? Let's see.
The average cost of a helicopter is about $1.97 million, though you can buy a low-rent helicopter for as little as $250,000. This is from supermoney.com.
Thank you. I don't think we want our Garcelle on a low rent or a low end helicopter, okay, for $250,000. But If Sutton wanted to, she could. So it's like almost $2 million for a helicopter. So we're going to have to move on that. Sorry, Garcelle. Gosh. But I thought the scene was really, really nice. And the fact that Sutton got emotional, and this is how you know they have a real friendship. They have conversations that we don't see on the show. These women are spending time outside of the show. You see this. And there aren't a lot of friendships that have been made on Housewives in this way on the same show. Yes, there are other housewives that have become really good friends, but on one show where someone has really developed a friendship from this show and in such a sweet, genuine way, the fact that Sutton got emotional about how far Garcelle has come to create what she's created. Because we have to remember, Garcelle, when she left that man that cheated on her so bad, she really had nothing. She had to get back out there and start working. And we already know how they underpay Black actresses. So I know people want to think that, Garcelle is rich and I'm sure she was okay, but Mama had to work. And now she's in such a good spot. And I think Beverly Hills definitely helped her get into that good spot. I think the Beverly Hills check is good, but it was a great launching pad she's got like 2 hit shows, one on Netflix, I think another one on Hulu, and of course with the Lifetime stuff. All right. So Garcelle is busy and doing a lot. And Garcelle talked about how Jack said to her, like, you already afforded us a really incredible life, but now you've done this, and you did that as a single mom. And we already know how it's a Jax or Jade. I can't remember now which one it is that's tough on her. Is it Jade? No, Jax is the one that's tough on her. So I thought that was really sweet, and the fact that Sutton got really emotional thinking about her friend, accomplishing. This is a big accomplishment for Garcelle, and it came out lovely. And Malibu property, that's good. That's going to be really good for her if she ever decides to sell or, rent it out or something. Well, good for her. The triple queen bunk bed. What's the point of that? Oh, well, she's got boys. She's got boys. She also has her son. She got grandbabies now. So yeah, that's why. Didn't Oliver just announce he's having another baby, right? Yeah. So she's got a lot of things. I've never seen a triple bunk bed, but like a queen size one too. Anyways, Sutton then talks about Dorit, okay? And she mentions that the PK situation is going to be a tough situation. I think Sutton knows a lot. And we've seen before when we were talking about the Tom Girardi of it all, I hear he's going to be sentenced, the 20th this week? Yeah. So I feel like Sutton knows a lot, but she doesn't say everything. I think a lot of the people on this cast hear things, know things, and they don't say a lot. But we already know that there's a lot of smoke around PK, his finances, and some other things, allegedly. And she says, when the other shoe drops, Dorit's going to need us. And the fact that she says this, that Dorit is going to need us, when they get to the end and Dorit wants to claim that Sutton isn't a girl's girl, she doesn't support women, I don't believe that. Yes, I do believe that Sutton is erratic. I do. And sometimes she can be, you just never know where her mood is going to be. Virgo. Here we go. Sorry, Virgo. See? But I do believe when things are down, Sutton will come in and help you if you really need her. I really believe that. No matter where you guys are as a friend in the friendship group. All right. So she says that will be the situation with Dorit. It's the PK situation. And she's going to need the group. And this is where Garcelle decides to bring up the burglary, which I thought was interesting. And I guess this was her way of saying, well, you're right. It is going to be the PK situation. And she's like, when I brought up the burglary, I didn't think that Dorit had anything to do with it. She says that I just think that Dorit was in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's icky to even talk about. But like I said, there are a lot of people, including a lot of you, that called in and had the same speculation. And as you saw, PK went on his social media. He says there's got to be a better way, Garcelle, to make money. We're not taking money advice from you, PK, okay? And there's got to be a better way for you and your wife to make money too, right? So although it's icky, and I hate the fact that Garcelle is choosing to lean in the way that she's leaning in when it comes to the Dorit stuff, and there might be a reason, and I'm sure it will come up at the reunion, okay? However, not even me, a lot of you have speculated on the burglary, PK's alleged involvement. He wasn't home at the time. I mean, there was just a lot of stuff. When you go back through the details of the burglary, the cell phone at the gate, the alarm being off, like, there's a lot of stuff that was suspicious. But I'm glad everyone is safe, okay? However, as I've said before, I do believe that production has decided, or maybe they as a group, including Dorit, have decided this is going to be my season where I stand out. I'm going to be the hero this season. I'm going to be the badass this season. And a lot of people are falling for it. And I'm going to just say intuitively, because I believe that I'm a very intuitive person, I'm not falling for it. I don't believe it. And this is why I love elephants. I have a long memory. I haven't forgotten about Dorit's problematic behavior and comments over the years. I haven't. And this PK situation, I think it's very convenient. I know I said that about Kyle and Mauricio. I think it's all convenient timing. And every season for the last few seasons, there's been speculation on whether or not Dorit was going to come back because she hadn't been bringing it on the show. And a lot of people are like, why are you here? So when Dorit looks at Camille, like, why are you here? I'm thinking to myself, Dorit, why are you here? Oh, because now all of a sudden you have a storyline. At the drop of a hat, a storyline seems to appear just in time for filming for Dorit. Although her real story, the real issues that she's had over the years never is on the show. Ever. Even now, the real story is not on the show. Like her home in foreclosure or pre-foreclosure. Never on the show. Convenient timing. Okay. I'm not falling for it. I mean, word on the street, a lot of people, have said, yeah, Dorit is not who she pretends to be on the show. Fine. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Don't forget, you can hear an audio version of our live recaps on our podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And if you are going to be in Washington, D.C., the Kempire After Dark live experience will be returning on Friday, January 24th, 2025. And then we're coming back to New York City for Black History Month on Friday, February 21st. There is also a live stream option for that show only. So if you want to see and experience the Kempire After Dark live experience, get your tickets today. Okay? All right. Anyway, so Garcelle mentions that. All right. Erica meets with her therapist. Erica has this thing about, but what about me? Or why didn't I get a pizza party? Because she talks about Sutton doing that special pizza party for Kyle. And she's like, why didn't everyone else do that for me? I think the reason why people didn't do that for Erica was because of how Erica handled the Tom Girardi of it all. She was already very defensive and abrasive and aggressive in a lot of ways. I think if she had come in a different way, like she did last season towards the end, like she came in a little bit differently. And we talked about this during the recap. If she had come that way, I think they would have been more inclined to let's do something for Erica. But Erica already came across disingenuous. She came across mean. She came across greedy, only thinking of herself, calling the victims alleged victims. And I'm like, these aren't alleged victims, madam. Okay. Like, she was saying and doing things that people could not be empathetic to you because you weren't being empathetic to the people that your husband was being accused of stealing from at their lowest time. So how dare you try and expect empathy when you couldn't even show empathy to people that were victimized, re-victimized by your husband? So save us on the, I didn't get a pizza party. But what I appreciate from her therapist wasn't coddling her. I appreciated that from her. She was sort of like, well, Erica, you were acting a certain way during those times with the group. Okay. The therapist also talks about, because Erica brings up Sutton and her, she feels like Sutton has a personality disorder, but she's not going to diagnose. But she's like, but I have a personality disorder. I actually believe that. When she said that, I was like, she said it. So I'm going to be like, yep, I believe it. I definitely believe she has a personality disorder. There's something, I'm not going to say narcissistic about Erica Jane. Erica Jane is very much a character. And I don't know who the real Erica is. And I know she likes to come across like, I'm so real. No, we don't know who the real Erica Jane is. Who you're watching on this show, very much like Dorit, a lot of these housewives on these shows. But Erica is a lot more cunning than people realize. My thoughts. All right. So finally we get to Kyle's denim and whatever party. Okay. She invited Camille. Camille, it's like, how are you? How's everything going? And then Camille talks about, her own stuff. And she's like, because, Kyle is talking about, Mauricio being single and doing what he's doing and having fun and da-da-da. And Camille's like, yeah, I completely get it. Because you remember how when we were first introduced to Camille and how that man did her, basically brought her on this show that so they can get a divorce. So Kyle's just like, yeah, we're not the same. Well, maybe not the same, but close. All right. Who had the best look, do you guys think? What's going on with these country things? This is the influence of Beyonce. I feel like all the housewives and Married to Medicine are doing some sort of like cowboy theme. Okay. Bose, I have to say, Bose and Erica Jane probably were my favorite looks. When I think about all the looks, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, honestly, Bozema, she took a chance with this look, and I liked it. It looked good on her. I loved the hair. She looked great. All right, and she had just gotten back from Brazil. Bozema, and I get it, because Bozema, you can tell, Bozema is, what is she, from Ghana, right? It's that African influence. It's just, that excellence, level of excellence. She didn't achieve what she achieved without doing the work. And the fact that her daughter has to give her a presentation. So she'll just like, I'll take you to anywhere you want to go in the world. I love that for them. Look, I love that for them. Black girls traveling. Oh, I love that for y'all. Because, I'm a big, proponent of people traveling, because I feel like that's the best education that you're ever going to get. Screw school. No, school's important, but include traveling with that. Okay. So in order for her daughter to be able to go wherever she wants to go, she has to present her argument and be able to defend that argument to her mom. And then her mom will pay for everything. I like that, because you know what it does? It makes your trip more intentional. I'm like, why exactly do I want to go to this particular place? Why do I want to go to a Europe city? Kiarna. No, why do I want to go to this European city or this, Panama? Or why do I want to go to Brazil? I love that, because now she has to really think, why exactly do I want to go? I think that's important. And it makes their trip a little bit more intentional. And I'm sure she'll probably look back on them like, first of all, the experience with her mom, they're never going to forget that. I love that for them. So she's literally fresh off the plane, back to filming and getting things done. Okay. Garcelle, we have something in common, because you guys know I love the number 11, born on the 11th. My half birthday's 11/11. I love the fact that 11/11 is a, powerful number for her. So they have tattoos at this party. So she wants to get the tattoo 11/11. That's my number. I've been seeing that number a lot lately too. And that's angel numbers. Even Kathy, y'all realize Kathy was there, right? Kathy was a little bit, on low key in this particular episode. But Kathy's like, that's an angel number. Sutton was just like, no, that's the devil's number. And Kathy was like, no, that's 666. A mess. Where do you get the devil's number from, son? She's like, I know. So Garcelle has this conversation. Again, Garcelle, I just don't understand why we are having this conversation. It just feels like we got nothing else going on, so we're going to talk about everybody else's business. And now, and look, I know I defended Garcelle last week, but now, like every single episode, it's about something else that's going on amongst people. Yes, Kyle was the one to tell this to Garcelle that she texts with PK, but I thought nothing of it. Understandably, some of you women would not like your friend's ex-husband to be texting another woman. When we put it in that situation and not the actual people, I get it. I completely get it. If you put it in just the context of man, wife, friends with these other couples, texting the other wife who's estranged from her husband, I get it. So that's where Garcelle is coming from. She's just like, I would not like that at all. And when you put it in that context and not in maybe because in my mind I'm thinking it's PK. Kyle doesn't want no PK. But if you just put it in the context of man and woman, I can see why some people might feel a way about it. I just feel like, why are we even talking about this? Because we're producing? Maybe. Okay. Sutton, as the group sits down to have a conversation, Sutton initiates a conversation about being open and honest. All right. And this is where Erica wants to point out, she's like, okay, I want to be open and honest. I feel like you're volatile. Where Jennifer Tilly in her confessional says, although I think Erica's intention was to take a dig, I do agree that Sutton is volatile. I appreciate honesty. I appreciate the honesty. Okay. So here's the thing. As they're going back and forth, Dorit and Sutton, in regards to what happened on the Sprinter van or their issues over the years, because Dorit feels like this has been going on with Sutton for a long time. Erica tries to make it so you know that this is how Dorit is for 10 years. It's not going to change. I mean, yes, but at the same time, maybe it should, or maybe it should make an effort. Or do you just accept that someone's not going to change or make an effort to change? And then Garcelle chimes in. She was just like, we've been trying for 10 years to get her to shut up. I was surprised that Dorit didn't respond to that. Dorit just was sort of like, maybe she wasn't ready for that. Or maybe she, the producer wasn't there to give her a line. Just saying. So I thought that was interesting. They've been trying to get Dorit to shut up for years. And look, literally, Cynthia Bailey on the Humble Brag podcast with Crystal. I'm so behind on that. But everyone's been telling me how much they like it. And I told you guys, I've been telling you guys that I think that's a cute podcast. I don't like a lot of podcasts, but I like theirs. Cynthia Bailey, who, she's been on Beverly Hills, she said she likes Dorit, but Dorit can talk on and on and on. And mind you, we're watching an edited version of Dorit. So if someone's talking about how she is in real life, oh my God. Look, I feel for people that get stuck having a conversation with her. All right. So Sutton says that Dorit isn't angry with her. She's angry about her life. And even Kyle is like, although that is true, I wouldn't say it. I mean, yes, and that's the thing, and that's a Virgo thing. Come on, Virgos, be honest. Virgos have a way of sticking the dagger at you, and just speaking everything that comes to their minds. So I'm not surprised that Sutton is this way and why it might rub some people wrong. So she's like, you're not angry. You're not angry with me. You're angry with your life. Okay? And then there were multiple times where Sutton's like, well, if you don't want me to yell, do you want me to speak like this? And then and Dorit's like, just speak regular. Mind you, Dorit is telling Sutton not to yell, and she's yelling. I don't think she realizes that she's yelling. Okay? I think that this angry Dorit and this she's throwing the middle finger up and calling people to see you next Tuesday. I feel like this is all an act. The cigarette in the car and all that. I feel like all of this is her acting. I really do. But that's my opinion. This is my channel. My name is on the moniker. Okay. So I feel like all of that is very performative, if I'm being honest. Okay. But Bose, well, first of all, Dorit admits, so she's like, you know what, Sutton, my life sucks right now. Even Garcelle feels bad for her in that moment. She's like, oh. And she's like, everything is not great right now, but I'm not taking anyone's BS anymore. And then Bose points out to Sutton, well, if we're going to move on and do things like that, you can't weaponize when someone is vulnerable like this. And Sutton's a little taken aback. She probably didn't expect Bozoma to defend Dorit. Okay. But I agree with Bozoma. You can't weaponize when someone is vulnerable by taking a dig like she did. You're not mad at me right now. You're mad at your life. That's a dig. And that's weaponizing that she is going through something. All right. So I don't know how it took a turn to Camille, but Camille says, like, I just have to say something. Camille wants to be back on the show, y'all. She's been wanting to be back on the show. But she says that, Dorit, when I was going through stuff, she didn't give me a lot of compassion. So Dorit immediately gets defensive. And then we go back to when Dorit called Camille a stupid see you next Tuesday. Okay. So it's crazy to me, though, when you see in the confessional where Dorit says she's a total see you next Tuesday. And again, I feel like this is performative. What Camille says in this moment, based on the edit, because maybe Camille said more that deserved that. But based on what we saw, it felt like, Dorit, you were doing a lot. And yes, her calling her a see you next Tuesday years ago was a joke, clearly. But in this moment, calling her, first of all, Camille couldn't remember Erica's name. Erica in a confessional. She's just like, see you next Tuesday. So I don't know, like seeing that interaction between Dorit and Camille, although I think Camille was doing a little too much in that moment, but Dorit saying to her, oh, Camille, you want to have a moment? That's what you do. You want to have a moment. But Camille was making a valid point that you want people to be compassionate to you, Dorit, and you're not even compassionate to other people in this group. You're not even compassionate when it comes to people's time in this group. And I was like, you know what? I think people are going to get caught up in the fact that Camille is not a part of the show. Camille wants to be back on the show. And they're not really listening to what Camille is trying to get to. And Camille is saying that you're not caring of other people within this group. But now that you're going through something, you're expecting everyone to bow down and have compassion for you when you have never had compassion for anyone else, including Lisa Vanderpump when she lost her brother. All right. So I think she's calling out Dorit's hypocrisy. You're wanting people to be sensitive to you and what you're going through, and you're in your own little world, busy taking selfies, and when people are waiting on you. And I hate when people are late. And look, for those that want to say you're always late for the live stream is one thing. In my real life, I'm never late for anything. Okay, I show up on time. And if I'm late for the live stream, you're not waiting half an hour or an hour for me to show up. Okay, so I'm going to call y'all out before y'all try and get me. Okay, guys, if you're just joining us, don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free. Shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our subscribers and our channel members. Become a member today at teamkempire.com/join. And for everything Kempire, including our merch store, look, House of Kempire. Okay. Including that and some of our Christmas stuff will be available at houseofkempire.com. And if you want a Christmas wish, birthday wish, anniversary wish, I am on Cameo. All of that information will be available in the description. All right. And happy birthday, happy Sagittarius season to anyone celebrating. Okay. All right. So this episode ends here because it turns back into a Dorit and Sutton situation. And this is where Dorit says, and here you have it, Sutton, someone who supports women. Look, I really do believe that, again, if and when Dorit needs Sutton, Sutton is going to show up, especially if she decides to go through a divorce. She's not going to. She's not going to go through a divorce. And if she does go through a divorce, I'm probably sure it's going to be to save something in regards to PK's business or whatever it may be. There's just something very calculated and nefarious about this couple. And it's been that way for a very long time. There's been a lot of smoke around this couple that just is not real. And we've been dealing with Dorit and her lack of a real storyline for many seasons. Hence why every time that there's a new season coming, people are like, Dorit's going to be downgraded or Dorit's not coming back. I haven't forgotten that. Somehow people are falling for the new narrative, but they're the same folks that are falling for the new Giselle narrative are probably falling for this Dorit is a badass this season. No, the real badass is Bozoma St. John. Okay? That's the real badass. Okay? Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed our conversation in regards to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I will see you all tomorrow for our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap. I'm going to try and watch Sold on SLC before that. If not, I'll have to catch it in a separate live or something. Don't forget, Tuesday Takeover will return in 2025, hopefully. I'm so not into doing those Tuesday lives, but I'm going to have to work my way back because y'all think that I just show up here and just, give you my opinion. No, there's a lot of work that goes in, especially for a Tuesday takeover. There's a lot of work, first of all, between watching all those shows, gathering all the pop culture news, and figuring out other elements. It's not an easy show to put together. So I really am enjoying a little bit of a break on Tuesdays, not having to do that preparation the night before. But a lot of you, I'm actually surprised because we randomly decided to create that particular live show. But a lot of you say that you miss it and you miss me talking about 90 Day Fiance, Below Deck, and some of the other reality shows. So in 2025, I hope to bring it back. So we could talk about Traders, we could talk about Below Deck, we can talk about 90 Day Fiance. But I've been slowly but surely catching up with 90 Day Fiance and things like that. So, and I did watch The Ultimatum. So yeah. So be sure to check that out in 2025. And as always, guys, I want to know, what are the biggest stories of 2024 that you want me to talk about in a separate live that we're going to do, where we count down some of the biggest moments of 2024 in pop culture. All right, y'all. I appreciate you all being here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. Happy hump day. All right. I will see you guys in the next one. And don't forget, the Kempire After Dark, a live experience, will be returning to Washington, D.C. on Friday, January 24th, and then to New York City on Friday, February 21st. Be sure to get your tickets in the description. The New York City show will have a live stream option. More information will be available in the description. Again, thank you to our King Scars. Thank you to our channel members. And of course, thank you to our subscribers. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Podcast. As always, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for everything Kempire Radio, head on over to kempireradio.com.